All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports Talk. Is Big Show Sunday. Glad y'all come by and hang out here with us for a few minutes. Got everybody live in the house here. What's going on, Jeff? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. All right, today, ladies and gentlemen, of course, you can see on the box there to my left, they're looking back at you, who has the dudes and what staff can adjust in the game time to take home the college football title for the 2025 season. We're going to talk about Indiana and Miami in that matchup. Defensively is going to be I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, probably like they both played Ohio State, so we can kind of recollect from those, and we'll reflect on that and talk about that. And y'all throw your scores up on a page. Also, college football portal has closed. So what is the final outcome for your favorite team? Tell us all about that. And we'll can break into, if y'all want to talk about the Broncos, find a way and the Seahawks just take the old belt to the butt to the 49ers. Holy crap. Bears and Rams, and then the Texans and the Patriots. I was watching some of that earlier, seeing how that's going to work out. Falcons did hire them a new coach. What do you think about it, Jeff? Think it's the one? Yep, Friday. I'll be on live. Brad, we'll look at that and go through that because I'm really curious about how that's all going to lay out. AHSAA, how they're going to reclassify the privates into their own leagues, and we're all pretty sure from what I hear from people that work around it daily that it's going to happen, but I think what some of the holdup and what took a little time was the fact that how they're going to break these private schools apart. Are they going to be just like 1 through 3, and then there's not a lot of big private schools, so are they going to have like a 1 and 2A class and then like a 3 and 4A class? I don't know, but I will be around here live, I'm sure, to talk about it. Everybody's getting realignment stuff this year. So first, let's break out the old portal talk. Portal closes up today. Tell us about your favorite team. And did they turn out pretty good for the most part? We'll look at Alabama and Auburn and take a look at Georgia. Through all the naysayers and everybody there's still some Saban zombies out there that they're only going to be fans of the Nick Saban Alabama teams. And, I'm sure there was some like that when Bayer left too. I mean, he's the greatest to ever do it. And the expectations have been set at such a high level that it's just unachievable goals that live in the minds of these people that feel like that's just going to start happening again. Like even if Saban come back, that it would just be magic and he would just, win a national championship every other year or two. That's not what would happen if he come back. So portal-wise, Devin Tompkins, he is a defensive lineman. Bama got him from USC. He's a 4-star guy coming out. I think he's a good addition to maybe play that wolf position and stuff. You got the Green kid coming out of Oregon, another 4-star player. I think he'll be a good addition to play up on the line. He's a 6'5", 270, 280-pound size guy. Offensively, they got the Haywood kid from Michigan. He come back 6'5", 280, 290 pounds or so. He'll probably be your left tackle or right tackle. I don't know. Nick Rogers got a receiver from North Carolina State. Also a good pickup. More offensive linemen is what Alabama was looking to consume through this portal class, and it's exactly what they needed. If Coach Kapelovic, and obviously if he's not going to fire him, God, man, I don't know. Bama fans can't. They're not going to take much more of this not running. They're not going to take any more not running the ball. Saban didn't run the ball in the last 2 years he was there. It's kind of got old. So he's recruited these guys. These are his guys. Nick Brooks, he's a freshman, coming from Texas. He's a big kid, 6'7", 360. Probably be maybe one of your guards, I suggest. Then the other one, the Delgado kid that come from Cal Poly, But Matt, we got to get 5 stars in the portal, guys. There's a 105-man roster now from 85. That's not how it works anymore. You got to get guys. There's 105 people you can have on the team. He also came from the same place that Quay Russo came. So when they complained about him coming, he turned out to be a excellent prospect. I think this staff can judge talent and seeing how their past winning record and coaches that he's beat. His recruiting has been good so far here at Bama. So this Racing Delgado, a center, he is a sophomore. He's had over 1,100 snaps. He was JUCO all-team, all-conference. He's supposed to be a highly touted center. You want to get older guys that's played and got a lot of snaps, here you go. And then also offensively, the Strayhorn kid came from Michigan also the other day. He's a freshman guy, be good for some depth. Defensively, edge-wise, the big win for today was Desmond Umezuva from South Carolina. He was back up to Stewart. He played in and out with behind him. He's a junior, 6'6", 240. He'll play over there on the end or something, maybe on the other side with Pierre, or I don't know. He may play with Tompkins over on the Wolf side, or I don't know. But that was the big news for the day, waking up Sunday for Alabama fans. And also, we knew about the O'Neal kid. Another offensive lineman, got a kid from Mississippi State. He rated out at 92 coming out of high school, a defensive lineman, a senior, played a lot of snaps, played at Providence Day up in North Carolina. I know that high school. I've seen some recruits come through there covering high school recruits. It's a good place. Caleb Smith is another good addition to the defensive line. The guy that come from Washington, he come the other day. Good ad for them. Ole Miss, the Ethan Fields, another interior offensive lineman. He's a sophomore, 6'2", 330. He is a Louisiana guy. So you know how they raise them down there. They got a long snapper and a kicker, which are huge, huge, huge parts of the game. Without them, special teams is as important as anything. Auburn has an edge rush guy from Ole Miss. The Womack kid, I think he's a good addition. He's a junior. He's a big kid. We'll pull these up here if y'all want to. We'll put them up here on the share the screen so we can all see it at once. There you go. And y'all know about Byron Brown, and most of these USF players, most people already know about them. Auburn fans do. The Bryanson Washington kid, the tailback, redshirt sophomore, 6 foot, 180, 190. I watched highlights of him. I don't know if he's got pull away speed. I think he cuts well. I think he finds his lane and where he needs to be. He had 50 yards rushing against Auburn when they played them, and they will play them game 1, which DJ Lagway will be their quarterback, and they'll be without this tailback, Mr. Washington. But again, fans you can't complain no more. Those days are over. Look, you got to add players, and that's just how it is. You just have to add players. They got the Ramallah kid. He's an offensive tackle from Michigan State. I'm trying to ask the kid from Missouri, the Johnson kid, edge rusher. I think that's a good addition for them. They picked up a wide receiver, the Richardson guy. He is a freshman. Came from Notre Dame. He's going to be playing over at Auburn now. And I like the Mathis Jr. I really liked him. I remember him coming out of he played down there in Savannah, Georgia at the Calvary Baptist. And I remember running across him. He's a big guy. He's 6 foot, but he's like 300 pounds. He went to LSU, and I think Auburn wanted him at one time, and I think they may have just missed on him when he come out last year. But he went to LSU, and he's at Auburn now. He's a 3-star guy, freshman, to play a defensive line, needs some spots to fill. And also offensive line-wise, that Strand kid from Oregon State, and they got another Ole Miss commit, another freshman, 6'5", 300 pounds offensive tackle, the Taylor and Hedrick kid, and he's from Missouri. And see some other guys that y'all may not. Most of them you know already because that's just kind of the ones I think here in the last day or two they got. The Richardson kid, just not trying to add some more depth to their wide receiver room and stuff, talking about Auburn for their portal class. And Georgia, they got Amari Williams from Auburn, one of their defensive linemen. He's a pretty good guy. He did pretty well for them last year, 6'2", 260 from Clinton, North Carolina. I think he'll be – Auburn had – their defense was pretty solid last year, man. I don't think anybody'd argue with that at all. Georgia has got to figure out a pass rush. It's been inept for years. Their wide receiver group is, besides Bowers and McConkey, it's been a while, man, since like Pickens and those guys have played at Georgia. They picked up the Beaver kid, Bryson, a freshman. He played. He's out from, I think he's from, where is he from? California. Played at Oregon. He's going to be coming over to Georgia. They picked up Clemson, a safety from there, picked up a safety from Oklahoma, had a running back, the Dowdle kid from Kentucky. He come out of high school rated pretty high. Played over there at that it's like an Indian name. Pachanu, Mississippi, Pachanu. It's an Indian name. I remember seeing him back a couple of years ago as being a tailback that come back from over there. And he was kind of one of their do-it-all backs. Went to Kentucky here for a few years. Didn't get to play a whole lot. He's headed to Georgia. Georgia also picked up a corner from USC, the Conley kid, cornerback. So that's kind of them. Jeff, for Big Ten, Ohio State. We're doing this for Jeff. They're in line with about where everybody else was on losing players. Bama had 20-something. Auburn had 30-something. I think Georgia had 20 maybe. And Ohio State had 25 or 30 guys. So they've added tight end from Northwestern. They added a safety, Earl Little Jr. He's been all around the block. He come to Bama first. I remember seeing him play. He's a junior now. He's going to be at Ohio State. He's a safety. I think he's a pretty good ball player. Not bad at all. They picked up two guys from Bama, James Smith and Quay Russo. They were super high guys coming out of high school, and they got here, and Quay got hurt, missed a little time, and I like James Smith. He's a mean, plays real mean. He's 6'3", nearly 300 pounds from Montgomery. Both of them are. They're both played at Carver. They're Carver brothers. But I don't know. Maybe they'll have better production at Ohio State. They just had some flashes of some good games at Alabama. And Quay, I don't like losing, nobody, but it's just the way it is in this modern time of college football. I really think Smith could have stayed and really grew more into a position there to play on the defensive line. I really think he could have. And they just did not show up towards the end of the year. Rose Bowl, he had like one tackle. I mean, him and Keon Keeley, those three were like the guys. Of course, Tim Kenyon, he's going to draft. You just scratch your head like, well, good luck to you. They got the cornerback, the Kelly kid from Georgia, headed to Ohio State. Ohio State picks up another linebacker, Legro kid from Wisconsin. They pick up a D lineman, Walker from UCF. Let's see here. From UTEP, kid from Jacksonville, Texas. Wide receiver, McCowan. Just looking for some depth here. The Jackson guy, the running back from Florida. And Cameron Calhoun, that's the third guy. Cameron was okay. He's from up there. He's a sophomore. I think he may have got just lost in the shuffle of of that position of trying to play corner at Bama, and they're really good at those spots. And he just couldn't get on the field. It just is what it is. Another wide receiver from LSU, the Parker guy. Ohio Bobcats sent them over a tight end. They did pick up Justin Martin, a junior out of Maryland, headed to Ohio State. Another, again, to have some depth. And they had a linebacker, senior guy from UCF, and then a Baylor kid, their kicker, the Hawkins kid, highly rated kicker from Baylor, headed to Ohio State. And that's kind of them, Jeff. It's kind of what y'all got rocking and rolling right there. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's hit the peanut gallery before we move on anywhere anymore. What's going on? Kiffin won the portal contest, quarterbacks. Yeah, he had LSU did pretty good. I think A&M really cleaned up really well. I really think A&M did really well in the portal, in my humble opinion. Like, they lose like three 4-stars and got 5. And A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, they did too. They had a pretty good class. They did lose some guys, but Coach Golden has done a good job over there. I have their rankings and stuff right here. I just put a bunch of stuff up, and I have Alabama's lineup. See, we had all SEC teams. That's not it. Yeah, Texas A&M was 1. They lost no 4-stars, and they gained 5. So they were the best team in the conference in recruiting. Lost 13 3-stars, picked up 13. A&M had 18 guys go out, and they brought in 14 out, and they brought in 18. Arkansas was second. They lost 38 players, but you know what? They added 33 guys to come in. Their average ranking of players going out, we're talking about Arkansas, was 65. Listen to this. Arkansas brought in an average of 69. So they worked a heck of a class. They're in the positive in their money, which means if you're negative in the money, it means you lost. Like if you had a player that was worth so much money, and you lost him, then that's NIL value is what it is. It's a value of the team. Honestly, with A&M and where they're at, and with Reed going to come back next year, they did have a good class. And we're just talking about rankings in SEC teams. Their portal rankings. We'll go through this, and we'll talk about Indiana and Miami game. I think Arkansas may have really killed it. They probably had the best class. Sorry about that. I think Arkansas really, really did well. They probably had one of the better classes. Look, guys, they lost 38 3-stars, picked up 31, and add +2 to their 4-star ranking. So I thought they did really well. LSU, again, they lost 1 4-star and picked up 5. His NIL value was plus $2.5 million. So they had guys going out on average ranking of 71. Their rankings of their, and also coming back in, they had a 74. That's good, man. Texas probably had the biggest jump. The guys left were on a 71 average, and coming in, Texas averaged nearly an 80. That's the largest. You're talking about really cutting the crap. Coach Sark cut crap, literally. The bigger difference you can have between that, like now, if you got like Auburn had like 79s going out average and like 72 coming in average, that's not good. Texas had 79 coming in and 71 going out. That's great. I mean, he picked up a 5-star in Cam. lost 3 4-stars but picked up 5, lost 22 3-stars but picked up 9. Florida did okay. Mississippi State did well too, man. The new coaches this year, new coaches overall did well. Mississippi State, they added plus 1.6 million to their value. Guys going out was 64 and coming in was 68. They increased their talent average by 4 points. That means like they had this many 3-stars go out and this many come in, but maybe they averaged a little higher 3-star guys than they did. Like this kid may have been ranked in like 400 or 500s, and the guys they got in, they're still 3-stars, but they're like ranked like 200 or 300. So just better guys, better players supposedly. Which now I told some guy this today. That guys, let me tell you right now, if you missed the show with Dexter College Recruiting, you can go back and find it. The star rankings, which I've told people this for probably since we've been doing the show, they miss on a lot of guys because a lot of these players can't. Me and Dexter talk. Dexter done it for a living. He worked for one of those brands, a big one. They can't be everywhere. There's thousands of players that can't go to camps that just they see some film on some guys and just try to rate them and put some stars on them because the coach keeps calling about it or something, or they maybe get show up to one camp and he's like, well, he's pretty good. We've seen him one time. We're going to put him a 3-star. And then he comes to college and he's freaking great because he didn't get to go to a lot of camps because he don't have a lot of money or he don't have a way or just life situation. So take that value at a small grain of salt. South Carolina finished at number 7 there. They added 1.2 million. They did pick up a 4-star and a 5-star in the positive. So that's good for them. Oklahoma, Vandy at 9, Ole Miss 10, Tennessee 11, Kentucky. Kentucky has done a great job. New coach. Them in Arkansas, bro, Mississippi State, these first-year coaches have come in, feet on the ground, running, and done well. Now, will it translate? I don't know yet. Now, Kentucky lost 23 guys, and they picked up 28. They lost 4 4-stars. They picked up 4 4-stars. They lost 18 3-stars. They picked up 24. So their net out was still not real good, but they got more guys on the team. Bama come in at 13. We've talked about them, and we'll go over their guest starting lineup that I pulled offline. Bama lost 23 guys, picked up 15. Their average out, not real great. It was 70, but they're bringing in 69. So that's just – it is what it is. When you lose 21 3-stars and a 4-star, that's just what it is. But Bama was like one of the other teams over there talking about trimming the fat. I mean, Alabama really trimmed some heavy fat. Our team has some – I mean, you got to have fat. You got to have those extra guys because you got to have depth because you want to be able to practice and have a practice squad. But the guys that left or what's coming in, it's because you lost those, like we just talked about Quay Russo and James Smith, losing those two. That's part of losing, those guys. But when you watched them play, God, you just expect so much out of them. Keon Keeley, I mean, he works so hard to get his spot, and then they leave. It's hard to get attached to players because they just take off and leave. So average, they're $4 million, negative $4 million, Bama is. And Kentucky was plus 16,000. It's a positive. So the value Bama had go out it's negative $4 million. So the value of those players were pretty high. So they lost that. So, it's just the way you have to do things now. And nobody has done it better than probably Lane Kiffin, honestly, with what he had. Georgia finished at 15. Missouri is 14. And we talked about Georgia. They lost 14 3-stars, and they only picked up 8. They only brought in 8 players in the portal. Now, this was as of maybe yesterday. And this can change because once guys get in the portal, hang on a second. Once guys get in the portal, the team can pick them up. You just can't go in the portal. Yeah, you just can't. You can't enter the portal after Friday night. So, picking up 8 guys, this is some Georgia news, all you Georgia Dog fans. Auburn lost 36 guys. They did pick up 30. Their average player value of playability, 73 out. They brought in on average of 71. So that's the same way with a lot of these teams. Same thing. It's just not – this is not nothing new. This is just how it is, and you just got to deal with it. They lost 28 3-star players, and they picked up 27 of those, so that's good. They lost 7 4-stars, and that's where we get into some trouble with Auburn, and they lost a 5-star, but they picked up 3 of the 4-stars back. Offensive line, it's going to be huge trouble. So SEC rankings top to bottom, Auburn was last at 16. A&M was at 1, but I really like Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. I can't count out South Carolina neither, guys. So don't count those teams out yet because they haven't been real good in the past few years. And that Taylor kid at Mississippi State, man, he's good. He's a good football player, man. He is a good football player. He got hurt right at the end of that game. Thank God, man. They kind of dove low to tackle him, and everybody thought, hold their breath, and just blew his knee out. They're going to be – if Coach figures out if he figures it out, Coach Lebby at Mississippi State, if their defense coach, if they figure it out, they're going to be better. That guy's a problem, man. Taylor, their quarterback, just turn on you can watch him in bowl game. They played a bowl game, or you can go back and watch it during the season. They could be trouble. And Arkansas has some players too. I'm going to keep my eye on those. Mississippi State and Arkansas, and don't forget about Kentucky. Don't forget about them. I'm telling you. Safeties for Alabama. This is just if the season started tomorrow. Safeties be like you got Sab, Hubbard, Mincy, Kirkpatrick back. You're going to bring in Ivan Taylor and these guys. And the 2 freshmen, Edwards and Riley Kelly. Cornerbacks, Sherman, Zay Brown, Red Morgan, Camelo O'Neal, brought him in. He's going to be – Dijon Lee Jr. he's a great football player, man. He's going to play corner at Bama. He's a sophomore this year. Chuck McDonald's a sophomore. He was part of that first class that DeBoer has kind of brought in. The Jordan Edmondson and Zay Gibson, those are 2 Coach Womack's guys. Zane come out of Gasson City down there in Etowah County. Seen him play his junior year one time. He can run up and down the field. I think he reads plays well. I think he tackles well. I think his tackling ability, if that's a real word, his tackleability is high, and he chases the ball well. There's some things he's going to have to work on, but he's young. And I'm looking forward to see him play more. Linebackers-wise for Bama, you're looking at Woodson, senior, and you got a couple of juniors in Yanzi Pierre is back, Caden Jones is back, QB Reese, sophomore, Luke Metz is back, sophomore, the Bill Sanders guy. Justin Hill played some last year, Duke Johnson, Xavier Griffin, and Zay Hall. Those 2 are new additions out of high school. Defensive lines, these are all on the page. You can go through these. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Got like 21 defensive linemen. 20. 16 defensive linemen. I was counting the bottom of the top of the other linebackers. The new kid, the Tompkins kid's going to be in the Desmond Azuma, another defensive lineman for Bama. Jeremiah Beeman is a good ad for them, and the Mumbamwa sophomore. Landon Simmons is going to come back and play. Caleb Smith is going to be a part of this team to add as a freshman. Nolan Wilson, freshman, and the Johnson kid, Howard Franklin, and the Matthews kid too. So you got good. It's a really good balanced defensive line. I like this defensive line for Bama because you got Pierre, this guys that's led the team, and the Fatu Henry kid, they're senior guys. The Tompkin kid and the Desmond kid from South Carolina, these are senior players. They can help lead the team through the season. But you got enough middle guys like sophomores and freshmen. You don't have many juniors. So, and I would think Green, he might not even come back after next year. So you may be starting a bunch of juniors and sophomores next year if they stay, which would, good Lord, man, we know half these guys don't stay no way. But having that, I like that balance. And you know what I'm saying? When you can see some seniors that can run the team in the season, but there's young guys that are going to rotate and come in and out and play. That means you're building. You're going to develop these players also. I like that. Tight end wise, they got a bunch of tight ends, just one senior, a lot of sophomores. So this tight end group, a lot of them could come back next year. Offensive linemen, they got 15 offensive linemen, and they don't have any senior offensive linemen. It is very sophomore, freshman heavy, very sophomore. So, but the thing is, like, the one junior you have, and the Fields kid's a junior, Tyler Miller's a junior, those three. But Delgado, the center from Cal Poly, he has over 1,100 snaps on his watch. 1,100 snaps, guys. 1,100 snaps is, you know, I don't think y'all understand how many games that is. 1,100 snaps. That's a lot of football. He's played a lot of football. That's a good addition. The Ethan Fields kid they brought in, that's another guy that's going to be, he's a redshirt junior. He's played. He's got snaps under his belt. These offensive linemen, I think together I counted up about, not exactly, 2,500, 2,600 snaps for a guesstimate on the offensive line if you just threw an offensive line together out of these guys. So wide receiver bunch, they got 8. I think they would like to have probably 10, at least 10 or 11 wide receivers. You know, most of them. The MJ kid is a senior. He played a little bit. He caught a touchdown from Keelan in the little pickup game they had there with Chakawaka State from Big E Piggly Wiggly Shopping Center. Noah Rogers is a good addition for them at receiver. Ryan Williams is going to be back. Rico Scott. Brooks is back. Meadows is back. Morgan and the Mathis kid are new. And I saw that also they picked up another recruit for next year's class too. They got a guy from Warner Robins out of Georgia High School. Jeff knows about them. Running back wise, it's going to be same room. It's going to be Hill, Riley, Deere, and then Crowell, and then the Trayshawn Brown kid. It's going to be a good addition to add too. And they're still looking at that wide receiver from Yale. He's supposed to be, I mean, he's like all conference, you know, he's 1,000+ yard receiver, had a bunch of touchdowns, don't drop the ball very much. He's mad he's from Yale. Bama can't get nobody from Yale. He ain't going to be no good. Guys are it's just not that way anymore. Bama fans got used to it because, like some of those guys I mentioned from Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Oregon, Bama would already had them on the team. Because once they signed, they stayed. Because during that time, Alabama was running the college football world. They had the most guys going in the NFL, and people didn't mind staying and getting reps as a second-team guy because they knew they'd go first round. Well, now you have a portal where they don't have to wait. They can go somewhere else and play and build their NIL, build up their name, their image, and their likeness so they can try to make a little money while they're in college. So that's the difference. Now, quarterback room, the Taden Kawhi, freshman, and then, of course, Jet Tamala. He's the number one quarterback out of Nebraska. I seen him play high school stuff some. I don't know. I don't know enough about high school football in Nebraska. Like when I watched Arch, I really studied more into him. I could study this guy as we're fixing to hit the off season, and he'll probably take off for a couple of weeks or something, or may come on and give some news of some stuff's happening. But they'll give me time to look into Jet Tamala and study Nebraska high school football. He's just a kid, so I was going to say, well, he's kind of small. Well, he's young. I mean, come on. He ain't supposed to come out looking like Tim Tebow. Everybody's not him. Keelan Russell, of course, they got 3 freshmen, and then junior, probably be starter Austin Mack. Him and Keelan may share snaps. I don't know. And this was as of today for the roster for Alabama. And we've been through all the rankings of the SEC. And what else was there? It's something else set up. Yeah, the Terrence Green, defensive lineman, think he's a really good addition for them. And then also the kid from Georgia. He played at Ole Miss that come to Bama over here from Louisiana. I think he's a good addition too. The Mathis junior kid went to Auburn. I think he's a good addition too. Yep, Nick Brooks. Really excited about him. Get to see him play some. Just really curious lot. Again, congratulations to Mark Ingram and those guys for making the College Football Hall of Fame. And here's some news, roundtable topic stuff that just kind of stuff off the beaten path that we like to talk about that gives conversation for y'all to add your input on this. So let's hear what old Ben's doing over here. Bo Nix scheduled to have ankle surgery. Yep, Tuesday. Yeah, I hate that, man. He's a native of, from here. He played at Central. Watched him play high school. Shoot, man, I hate that. God, he's done so good this year. Bo's not one of those like passers of the football. I mean, he's done good. I'm not going to say he's not a good quarterback, but he's not like some Patrick Mahomes like quarterback. It's just not his thing. But you cheer for him because he's from your state and he's done so well. And then all of a sudden, like, it gets hurt. He broke some bones in his ankle right at the end too, man. Crap. Yeah, I saw Stidham was playing. Yeah, that's probably not going to turn out real good. Let's see what the score is. Patriots beat the Texans 28-16. Rams and Bears tied at 7. We'll keep an eye on that. So probably, since you brought that up, Ben, we'll look at the stat line there for Drake May. New England had 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. It was enough. C.J. Stroud, 4 interceptions. Sheesh. Yep, 28-16. Patriots take care of business. Okay. Bo Nix, Bronco. Wow, what a game. I mean, this game goes to overtime, 33-30. Broncos win. I didn't know who to pull for. I never really been a Broncos fan. I guess I'll always like John Elway. I mean, I grew up in that time. And I remember Shannon Sharp playing out there. Big fan of his. Always liked him. Good football player. Poor old Bo Nix, man. Yeah. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he ran the ball some, picked up about 30 on the ground. And Mims had a great day. Mims and Sutton, they both had a good day. Even the Harvey guy, wound up getting nearly 50 yards on 5 catches. He was somebody to pay attention to. But Mims went off, and Pat Bryant had some good catches. And defensively for the Broncos, what else could you ask? Alex Singleton, I mean, he made like freaking 20 tackles. I don't know. And Roach had a sack, and Zach Allen I think he had a sack too. I don't know. You could just ask that team to do everything that they've done, and they did it right. They figured out a way to keep it and hold the game together. because at first Broncos, it looked like they were just going to run away with this thing. And I nearly turned it. I think I may have got to doing something else or something, and then come back to it. I think it was close to halftime when I got back, a few minutes left. And third quarter was one of the Bills said, I just, hold my beer and watch this. The Bills come out and decided Josh Allen was sick of losing, sick of getting beat, and throw 3 touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks. They turned the ball over. Kincaid had some good. They run the ball really well. I liked how Davis ran the ball and Knox. Cook, he cost them a couple of times, man. He made some good catches, and then he run the ball out of the backfield. That second half seemed like he had a great second half. It's like it's just not meant for them. They got a curse or something, man. Josh Allen, 3 fumbles, lost 2 of them. Cook, one I told you about, and then but defensively, Bishop and Lewis did their job. Johnson, Shaq Thomas, and White. There's old Joey Bosa. He's a dog. So after halftime, all this stuff, starts to go down, and the Bills come out and play well, fight back, and I thought, well, we're just going to have a great – which it was a good game. That one stupid call, man. Why the refs run good? They ruin good games every time, man. They ruin good games. We could have had a good game, man. Buffalo goes down there and scores, and the game's the game's gonna be over. I'm so sick. Golly, man, it happens so much in college football. Because I watch NFL usually toward this time of year. Playoffs, I'll start. Well, I don't watch a lot of real season pro football because it's just so bad. But now college football is starting to look like pro football. It's just kind of bad. Like the last 3, 4 years, 5, it's got really worse. This is going to be a terrible, terrible QB draft coming out this time. I've talked about that before. We'll save that for a bonus show over there on Locker Room Extras. I'll do a spiel on that one day. So Bills hang on and fight, but it's Josh Allen. Why? What do you do? I mean, what do you do? Fans, y'all tell me. I mean, crap, what I know. Yeah, I played at Pinson. I get Pinson and Central Phoenix City mixed up sometimes. Yeah. Seahawks just beat the crap. But what do you do is, the Bills and try to – Josh Allen's a good quarterback, man. He's a franchise guy. I mean, he would probably bring big money in the trade, right? Wouldn't you think he would? I would. I think he'd bring big money in the trade. They just can't get over that hump, I guess. They just can't seem to get over that bump in the road. And he's crying on stage. Golly, man, you hate that for him. I mean, you go out there and I know y'all are making fun of him. That's fine. You can think whatever. You just put all your heart into it, and he's just really had a tough time. And I mean, you just make bad decisions. Some of it's just luck. I mean, it really is. You just it's better to be lucky than good. They say that sometimes. So that's just kind of, what it is. You trade him off. I mean, you're going to trade Josh Allen, from the Bills to get some high name, who's coming out any better than him? They ain't nobody. Who are you going to get, man? You going to try to get some guy coming out like who? Carson Beck? Mendoza? Miss me on that. I could do a 20-minute spiel on why that'd be No, I'm just telling you. Watch, see what happens. Yeah, there you go. No, he's still up there at college up there at And yep, 41-6. We can talk about that for a minute. 41-6. Seahawks just BTA, and that's belt to you know what. I mean, it's starting of the game, so I turn it on, sit down there and watch the game here, drink some water there, eat some crackers, to kick off. Touchdown! What? Nah, I'm a 49ers fan. I mean, it's just NFL is different in college because you kind of pull for different teams. And I'm an old school 80s watching guy. I like the Bears and the 49ers and the Broncos and the Giants. Just kind of who I seen, win a lot and who their guys was. Troy Aikman's to what was the guy at the Bears? Golly, I forgot his name. McMahon. Not McMahon, but Jeff knows who that is. Yeah, to Jim Kelly at the Bills, and of course Joe Montana. And that defense, love watching Ronnie Lott. So, just kind of watching us, going to be a good game. And man, it just got away quick. It's 17-0 in the first quarter. So I turned away and come back, and it's worse. They just kept pouring it on them and pouring it on them. And I thought, man, they're like, somebody throw the towel in. Somebody please throw the towel in. Passing yards, 128 passing for the 49ers. Seahawks only passed for 106. And 175 rushing for the Seahawks. And somehow they wind up with 33 rush attempts. And they were 4 for 6 in the red zone. They had the ball for 31 minutes of the game. They just scored quickly. It didn't take a lot of plays for them to make the scores and move the ball down the field and figure out anything at all. Man, what the heck's going on? How do you lose so bad? And they've talked about Purdy, and they went up. Mac even come in, throwed a couple passes for a couple yards, I think. Sam Darnold's just doing a job. I know there's people that are not big fans of his, and that's fine. I wasn't really either, but he's figuring it out, man. Look, if you can turn around and run the ball, once they got rid of Grubb, for some magical reason, they can run the ball now. Hello? Grubb's gone. Seattle had 200 yards rush. I don't know. What I know. And if you have a group of receivers that's getting 20, 30 yards a game from Walker, and everybody knows Jigba, he's a football player. I mean, he had I think he had their only receiving touchdown. Yeah. They just figure out a way to win. And it's going to be a tough out. NFC divisional playoff game there again. Purdy, 140 yards, 15 for 27. And they run the ball for over 100, and which is fine. But it was mostly him running. But, McCaffrey got a lot of carries, but Seattle just held his average down kind of low. His McCaffrey's long was like 7 or 8 yards. Well, you keep a guy like that in the 7-8, which I know now they say if you get 4.5 or better, it's good. But a guy like him, if you're holding him 8 yards, carry or whatever. And I think Mac run the ball one time for a couple of yards, but I was very disappointed in how they showed up. Purdy and these guys absolutely just did not show up. So, NFC bracket now, Rams and the Bears and the Broncos, and so the Patriots and the Texans. So, looks like you're going to have the Patriots will play at 3 o'clock on CBS. And the Seahawks probably I don't know. That game's still tied, I guess. Rams or Bears, guys? You kind of just figure the Ram. I mean, they're kind of a lot of OG. They got some older, experienced guys, and Caleb Williams is just old fingernail polish. He's just come in and he's played well. He's figured it out. Hey, look, man. I mean, may not be a fan of his personally and how he, whatever, but I wouldn't think for them to win today, but I mean, who knows? So maybe they wind up beating the Bears and the Seahawks. Wow, that'd be a good game. Be at 6:30 on Fox. Patriots and the Broncos, CBS, and the Super Bowl will be February the 8th. So Broncos and Patriots will face each other. They'll take on the winner of the Seahawks and I guess the Rams. I'm just guessing. So that's kind of that for NFL stuff. Now, let's hit the old comment section over here and see what everybody's got. Y'all make sure you hit the thumbs up while you're over here on the page, man. I sure would really appreciate it. It's better than even subscribing. But if you'd like to know when I come on live, usually it's on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And this right here, I'll put this up here. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is time I'm usually on all the time at 6 o'clock. And you can look for me probably during the off season. It may just be down to a Sunday, you know. I may not be on during the week. Now, if stuff's happening, stuff's going on, then definitely I will want to come on and share news, talk about stuff that's going on. The portal's closed, but there's still guys that are able to. There's still guys that are able to leave out of the portal and go, if they can't go back home, then to go to those schools, you just can't enter the portal. So don't miss out on that. And I'd love to have you over there. And all right, this is the time that we all been waiting for. Miami Hurricanes, the home team, is going to be down there at Miami, welcoming back their very own tried and true homeboy from just around the corner, Fernando Mendoza. And they put his aunt all over TV. She's a nice looking lady. Mom seems like a really sweet lady. His stepdad and his brother, he's a big proponent of his brother. It's a great story. And talking about Indiana and how they're going to match up here. So betting odds right now say that Indiana is going to be figured to win this game by at least a touchdown. What do y'all think, you old people of you locker room sports talk? What do you think? What do y'all think? I'm curious about what other people really do think, because this has been a real down the middle. A lot of people have Miami and some people have Indiana, and that's fine and dandy because we all have our own picks and rumors and that kind of stuff. So just give me some scores or something. Where is Zach at? I get Jeff on here and I don't get Zach. Let me see where he is. Where is Zach? Where is he at? All right, I'd message Zach on there. Some Bama fans are definitely going to probably want to pick Miami. Why, I don't know. I don't know why they would, because we were always brought up to hate Miami. But now everybody's going to want to pick against Indiana. So I think it's just the main reason, because just for that reason, because they hate Indiana, right? Now here we go. Thank you guys for coming in and tuning in here live with us. Big Talk Sunday show, going to be right here, we're going to be talking about this Indiana and Miami game. Want to hear y'all score predictions? This is the score prediction show, so we got to get some scores on here, man. Hit the thumbs up if you have not already, and we sure would appreciate it. Podcast listeners, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate you guys. All those podcasts will be added. Now, they're up there on the Spotify page. But if you're on YouTube and you don't have Spotify and you would just like to listen to the show, the podcast will be go to our homepage and be right there at the bottom. Boom. You can click on it. No video part, just a picture of a thumbnail like this. And you can listen to the show. All the new episodes will be uploaded on there weekly, 3 days a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, live at 6. So here we are in Miami. They're going to be welcoming back Fernando Mendoza to his hometown as he left out, went and played UCLA for a little bit, then left there and took his talent somewhere else. And now he has put his team in position to win a national championship, their first ever really do anything. So what we have to look at here is we have to lay out the case. And you know how it is, guys. We lay out the case this way. Jeff, we're going to use your team for evidence. Miami run the ball for over 150 yards against Ohio State, right? Beating them 24-14. Beat them by 10. Now, Indiana takes the win over Ohio State by 3. They did not run the ball quite so officially, but pretty close. Most of the stats for the games, 13-10 Indiana over Ohio State, 24-14 Miami over Ohio State. So just a common glancer by, what we call Saturday watchers, would just come by and to make their pick and say, well, Miami lost some key games during the season. I think they lost like Louisville and SMU and blah, blah, blah. And they're not real good. And, I mean, they went to overtime for SMU to beat them, and Louisville beat them. Yeah, but it was only by 3. And so I would just probably rally on the side of Indiana probably winning, because Indiana beat Alabama real bad. But then the same people will say Alabama sucks. So if Alabama sucks and they were number 9 and they lost to number 1, then they lost to number 1 because they're not number 1. They're number 9. Number 9 is probably not going to beat number 1. Bama got in because they finished first in the SEC. That's why they got in. The first 2 teams in the Big 10 and the SEC and Big 12 are always going to be in the playoffs, people. And if you really don't like that top 12 finish, just wait till your guy up at the Big 10, Petiti, gets his wishes and gets 24-team playoff, and we'll have some real crap bags playing like 4-loss teams, and then you can complain about that. So this is what we have. We have a Miami team that has lost some games, and does that build resilience for the team? Does that make them battle-tested or so what? I'm just asking the question. Now, Indiana has smoothed their way right on through here, scoring all the way back to November, scoring 31, 56, 13, 38, and 56. The lower of the scores being against Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Alabama. Railroading Oregon and running away with it as Oregon just pretty much give up late. And Bama quit in the fourth quarter and give them 2 more touchdowns, kind of giving that up. It just seems that an easy pick would be to say Indiana. It would be easy to pick that because of their record. But things, come into effect like practice and team camaraderie and those kind of things, And these Indiana players, James Madison, Indiana, James Madison, IU, they've been playing together for a long time. I mean, they're like, these are the seniors out there playing against the junior high team in some case. I think the togetherness of the team, and they feel like they have a point to prove. They feel like they have a message to give. And Cignetti's not some magical GOAT, greatest of all time. He's never won anything. So let's quit talking about that. But I think they have something to prove, and it would just be neglectful not to consider them to be able to win this game. Now, have they been battle tested? I give you the scores. We're laying out a case. We talked about the battle testings of Miami. So what does Miami have to offer? This is real deep dive stuff. We're not just talking stats. Well, this team run for 6.3 average is actually math for her rushing, and while the other was 6.1 average for rushing. I'm going to go with that's not locker room sports talk. That's the number nerd football show. That's not this. Talking about the game, how they play, watch them play. What do they look like? What do they look like when it's 3rd and 15? And what do they look like when it's 3rd and 2? I've seen them both. Beck is a really cool hand quarterback. Mendoza is also. So that's the first term that you lay out. I'm going to start with the quarterback. And this is kind of how we do it. Zach's on here a lot when we do it. We lay this out this way. We kind of take positions, quarterback, check, left or right. Y'all pick who you like. Offensive line, which one? D-line, and D-backs and receivers. So kind of lay it out this way. Miami, Indiana, quarterback. Now, I know. Trust me, I know. Stat-wise, we can look at it this way. We can put it up here on the screen. Let everybody share for just a second. Beck, 3,500. Mendoza, 3,300. Who's probably, these quarterbacks here, Beck throwed 430 passes. Mendoza throwed 350. 41 touchdowns, 6 picks for Mendoza. 29 TDs, 11 picks for Beck. I think Beck has a cool hand throwing the ball. He's one of the cooler hands of the bunch. I really think that. I think he's probably the coolest hand of all the bunch. And the most disciplined team, right? Team-wise, Coach Short, good to see you. The most disciplined team that does not commit a lot of penalties. Just use a good old football, which Coach Short's a retired high school football coach here in Alabama. He knows more than anybody else I know that I talk to regularly. He likes 27-17, Indiana. That's not a bad score pick. I'm gonna write that down. Coach Short said 27-17, Indiana, Miami. I like that. So quarterback wise, who are we checking on the box? Carson Beck does have more experience. He does. And Miami, 17-14 until the final minute of the game when the U scored with less 39 seconds left in the game. Yeah. Right. They it's just stat wise, and I don't want to do stats. The stats are good. You got to there's a basis, and stats are good for basing something. You got to have a start. You got to have a foundation, and stats are a great foundation. And we looked at their stats. Mendoza's played a lot of football, guys. This guy's been around. I mean, it's not like this is his first show. He's going to just, show up here and this is what he's going to do. I'm trying to figure out a better. What have I got here? Yeah, I'll take that one. So, quarterback play. Do you just you can't just give it to Mendoza because he won the Heisman, right? I mean, you can't just say, well, he's automatically you pick because he won the Heisman. He's your best quarterback. Well, is he? Looking for score predictions, guys. Y'all don't run out on us. We're just an hour in here. Let's see here. I might not even be able to hear it. Y'all hear any music? Just let me know. I don't know if that's even. It's just some background music. Miami and Indiana, quarterback wise. Man, I've thought about it for 2 days. The quarterback situation, I just don't trust Beck. So I'm going to go Indiana. Now, Mendoza will turn the ball over. He will. Can you even hear the music, Jeff? I don't. I have to go QB. You just do. Beck's thrown a lot of picks. And I don't know if he's, is he the guy that can really make a big difference in the game? Who can, make a big comeback and make a big difference in the game? That's what we're saying. I just think Mendoza's probably more smooth, maybe when it matters most. Does that make sense? Okay, so we'll go QB Indiana. Offensive line. I mean, how many times has Beck been sacked? How many times has Mendoza been sacked? His QBR is 81 for Beck. And stats, recent games. He's been sacked this year. 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 times. Passing. Okay. So Miami's offensive line doing a good job. Mendoza's QBR is a 90. He's been sacked 7 times. Oh, shoot. 12 times. He got 5 sacks against Wisconsin. What? Do they have everybody out? Like, did their O-line not play that day to rest them? So it's about the same. He threw for 300 yards that game, but he sacked 5 times. Holy crap. So it's pretty close. But running the ball, and look, guys. Hemby's run for 1,060 at Indiana, and then Fletcher's run for 1,080. Offensive line. Go Miami. Defensive line. That front of Indiana's is pretty stout. Hardy at linebacker for them, 8 sacks, where Messador's got 10.5. I don't even know. Is he playing? But Hardy Hardy also leads in tackles too for Indiana. I see. I'd read Messidor was hurt. I heard that. I've heard nothing else about it. Okay. He's not currently out. He played in their festival. Yeah, I know, but okay. Okay. So it says he's expected to play. Defensive line. Man, they got some dudes, man. God, that's a tough one. And I like Indiana's running back room more. Wide receivers. Man. Wide receivers, y'all like Indiana better, or you like the Miami guys? Or here's the thing: Cooper has had plenty of reception. He leads the team in receiving, but man, it's just hard to pick against old Tony at Miami. Indiana's wide receiver group, Cooper, Becker, Bond, Brady, Chandler Kidd. Surratt. They got some dudes, man. They got some big-time playmakers. But old Malachi Tony, it's hard to pick a freshman. Like he's a great player. But you're like, man, you want to pick them for like receivers, but they got Burton, Carr, Cohen, Kobe Luna, it's just hard to who you gonna pick? The Daniels kid, he's a 500-yard receiver. He had a good game against Ohio State. Had 5 catches for 50 yards. Yeah, we're trying to break it down here and have a case. Yeah, their sacks are like one difference. It's kind of surprising. Mendoza was sacked 5 times at Wisconsin. Luke Fickle defense. You can hear the music. I didn't know if you didn't hear it. Wow. Jeff, 27-24. You like Miami? What? Man, wide receivers. Probably Indiana, wise as far as wide receivers. I like their complete totality. But I think I would pick them probably another game, but in this particular game and how it matches up, I like Miami wide receiver group because of the matchup. Because DB-wise, I like Miami. And so that's kind of it. So I like what am I already got here then? Let's kind of just take a look at it. Man. Quarterback, I like Mendoza and how he handles the game. I really do. I like how Mendoza handled himself in the game. And I like the running backs. The only thing I tell you, you mean just be honest, what kind of hesitates me to pick Miami, honestly, is because of Tony, and I think they're going to want to rely on him a lot. But I think too that he's young, and when the lights are bright, if he comes out here and makes some kind of crazy play, and they win this game, it's going to be electric. Both teams have 30 plus transfer portal guys in. Both teams. So again, for me to say, yay or nay, what I just don't really trust Beck a whole lot. If they give him some pressure and give him some trouble, he'll turn the ball over, and that could put Miami in a bad spot. It's going to be one of those things where it just kind of comes down to special teams. It's just going to come down to special teams and, who can make the field goals, and somebody can get a punt return here or there. Something late in the game to get a good return, to put them in position, maybe to kick that field goal to win the game. It just seems like Mendoza has just been flawless. He sputters along the way sometimes, but he never loses his North Star of where the team is at the current moment. He don't get too caught up in the forward thinking of just doing what needs to be done right now to make the best play, to put his team in the best position. But, it's all cool until somebody's chasing you around the field. And when he's chased around the field, I'm telling you, Mendoza's not he is not very accurate with the ball. And I think Miami keeps him out of comfort enough that they're going to try to run the ball some with Hardy, or try to throw the ball out to Surratt more, and try to throw some screens here or there. And I think Miami defense coach knows that, because he's smarter than me. And if I see that and how they're going to probably try to game plan them, it would just make sense to think that Miami would be able to win the game, because their defense keeps Mendoza unhappy, and they can't get the running game going quite enough. Just proposing, I'm guessing here, just what everybody does. And I know the Big Ten smart-ass fans are going to have something to say, and that's fine, because that's just that's just the way it is. When you pick the other team, one team's going to be, mad because you didn't pick their team. Well, who cares? It's just an opinion. Mine's just like as good as yours. Maybe you studied it more than I have, but Miami, Indiana seemed like it would be a 27 Miami, 17 Indiana. And I'll type it here to give factual evidence. So y'all can record it, and I can't go back on my word, which I wouldn't do that anyway. I think Miami could handle them. It may be a little closer than that. It may be a little closer. Coach Short he had the same score. I thought he had 24-17. Well, I'll say something like that. So that's kind of my pick, and that's where I think the game will probably be. I'm the only thing that defers you, because I've watched these teams play a lot. I've watched Carson Beck play a whole lot, and that's the thing with him, man. he'll screw it up and turn the ball over. And if he gets in there and throws some picks, and that's what the matter of fact, how the game changes, and that's how they lose the game, then I'll say I told you so. I'm just not man. If Tony, and they're going to probably double him, they're not going to want Malachi Tony, this freshman at Miami, to get that ball. He's special. This kid can pick him up and put him down and play with the best of them. He is very qualified to be in this game, and he's a part of why they are, in this situation they're in. Man, he can get the ball and make some, huge plays. So that's what we got for you tonight. Had a little bit of Porter news, went through Bama, Auburn, and some Georgia. Made a pick for the game. Probably like a 24-14, something like that. I think it will probably be a lower scoring game. Jeff likes 27-24. I could get on board with that too. I could go along with that. Now, if Indiana does win this, wow, what a season. I mean, especially to travel, all that way and why not win the game, man? Be the first, 16-0 college football team ever because, playing so many games now. And here's the thing, we'll leave it last on this. For Indiana fans that I argue with on YouTube and that kind of stuff and Big Ten hopeful podcast, don't be so butthurt because your team is not getting all the, glitz and glamour and coverage that you feel like they should get, like your Ohio State brethren has over the past few years, because they've won a lot of football games. They're really a huge part of college football history. And same with Alabama and the coverage they still get after they got more coverage losing the game than Ole Miss got for winning the game that they won. That's insane, but that's just how it is. It's not a throwing shade at Indiana. And Paul Feinbaum had some comments to say AFC, NFC championship games for the weekend are going to bring a lot of prominent news Tuesday on sports media. And Indiana, if they win the game, will just be a small part of the news. That's not being shady or this. It's just he's just giving his 40 years in the news business to give his opinion of what he thinks the media will cover the day after the national championship game. Tickets prices are higher than they've ever been. You got two teams that hadn't played for it. One has never played for it, ever ain't won nothing, and other team hadn't won anything prominent since 2001. I think they had a good run a couple of years after that. That's been 25 years and forever since the other team. So some of this, miss me on the crap of, it's not fair. They don't give us coverage like that. What about Indiana? What about us? You're the small little kid running around the playground with all the senior boys out there that are playing tackle football, and you've just stumbled out of the sandbox and wandered over into the big field, the football field, and you're looking around like, wow, this is something special. You're starting to build some type of brand of football now, and you hadn't won it yet. We're just saying how it is. You just hadn't done it yet. It's not a big deal. Everybody's got to start somewhere, so you're starting now. Okay. But don't be PO'd because everybody's just not bowing down and running the Hoosier flag up their pole. It's just not – nobody really knows yet, and some people just really don't care. Because after their favorite SEC team got beat out, Georgia's the one that, win the SEC champs. They're the one supposed to be toting this flag, not Alabama. It's not Alabama. Alabama's not the one, supposed to be making this, big deal of winning the national championship again. The Kirby's the one toting the flag for all that. the outrage should be more at them. They beat Alabama pretty good in the ACC title game. So, just because if you don't get all the pets and praises, honestly, I'm telling you, knowing how Cignetti is, he would prefer you not get petted and praised. You can celebrate after the game is over and you won. Right now, it's time just to get focused and just be a fan of your team playing for a national championship, whether you win it or not. Just be a fan of that and stop arguing with SEC people because they're just butthurt because they didn't have a team to represent the title game for the past 3 years. They're just sore about it. You enjoy your time. I enjoyed my time as Alabama fan for those years and 10 years or so and winning a lot of, championships and seeing a lot of wins and going to games and taking my son when he was younger to games and homecomings and that type of stuff. It was great. And that's gone away. And it'll never be that way again, exactly like that. Will they win some? Sure, absolutely. I think DeBoer's I think he's a winner. I think he'll win some games. I think in 2 years, in probably 27, I think that class will have if they stay together, they'll have a really good shot at it and make a great run at it. Really good shot at it. So just enjoy your team and don't be bothered because ACC media people is not giving you your praise. They're not going to. They're a bunch of psychos. That's all we have down here. People live for that. They don't get to watch pro football on Sundays and root for their favorite team or favorite player. We don't have hockey. We don't have pro baseball teams. This is what we have here in Alabama. Georgia does have the Falcons, but man, have they been tater water, just trash. So this is what they care about the most. And most of your Hoosier fans have been basketball fans for the last 70 years. And it's just the way it is. So just enjoy your team's success and cheer for your team, whoever it is. And if you're an Alabama fan, you're not going to win it all the time, bro. Just enjoy what you had. Just support the team now. It's going to be cool. They'll win 10 or 11 games for a long time probably. They'll probably be in the playoffs for a long time. No, Petiti said, Jeff, he's going to Petiti's running it now. He's running college football. There's a commissioner of college football, and Sankey does what he is told to do. Petiti said, you're going to play 9 conference games. He said, yes, sir. Can I do we have to do it? Yes, you'll do it next year. Okay, yes, sir. But that's going to mean we're going to be playing probably 6 ranked games during the season, 6 ranked teams. I don't care. You hear what I said, Sankey? You'll play 9 conference games. And here's what else is going to happen, Sankey and Big 12, ACC. I'm going to allow you to play 1 year of 16-team playoff, and I will sign to that. But I won't sign it not unless we're going to go to 24 for 2028. Or I won't sign it. We won't play 16 next year for 27. That's what he said. Verbatim. We will not agree. I will not sign it. I'll let you play 16 for 27, but 2028, we're going 24 teams. And if you won't let me have 24 teams, you won't have 16 next year because I won't sign on it. That's what he said. So Tony Petiti, the AD of the Big Ten, their commish, that's what he said is going to happen. You can read it. I'm not making this stuff up. It's easy to find. And I'm sure Greg Sankey has just sucked up to him so much, I'm sure he'll go right along with that as well. And they'll agree to have 1 year, and then when in 2027 we'll go to a 2014 playoff, and I'm kind of going to be out. I'm just probably not going to be real interested. I'll watch like Alabama, Georgia and stuff or something, but I'm not going to be real interested in a playoff format. We got, like 8-4 teams from the Big Ten. I'll pass on that. So thank you all for coming by. We do appreciate it. And we'll catch y'all back Tuesday after the game. We'll talk about it and we'll break it down every which way we can. Make sure I hit the thumbs up on the way out on the page. We sure do appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. I would appreciate it. You know, when we go live, it's just like selecting your favorite channel right there on your TV guide remote. It lets you know when your favorite show's on. Thank you, guys. God bless you. And have a great work day tomorrow.